This episode of Earn Your Happy is sponsored in part by Shopify, Quince Open Phone, and Northwest Registered Agent. Turn your big business idea into cha-ching with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/happy. See why over 60,000 businesses trust Open Phone. Open Phone is offering my listeners 20% off of your first 6 months at openphone.com/earn. Don't wait. Protect your privacy, build your brand, and set up your business in just 10 clicks in 10 minutes. Visit northwestregisteredagent.com/earn. Let your bed match the season with cool, relaxed bedding from Quince. Go to quince.com/happy for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns.
This is just all me searching for something outside of myself to validate myself, to make me feel worthy and seen and heard and all this stuff, right? When really it was always inside of me. I just had to wake myself back up.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Earn Your Happy podcast. Today's episode is another throwback, one of my favorite conversations. And you guys know that I've had this podcast for 8 years. So if you're newer to the podcast, I have literally recorded over 1,400 episodes, you guys. So I want to make sure that you don't miss any of these super amazing, juicy conversations that I have chosen just for you, because I can't tell you about the wealth of knowledge that is in this freaking catalog of throwbacks. I don't want you to miss it. It's truly what has changed my life and helped me on my journey of growth in entrepreneurship, in relationships, in personal development. And I know that these messages are going to hit you in the same kind of powerful way that they hit me. So I hope that you love this one as much as I do, and let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. I'm so excited for today's speaker because if you have ever had a fear of public speaking, if you have ever gotten the opportunity to speak and you did not know what to talk about, if you feel like you want to be a public speaker, but you don't know where to start, you feel too afraid, this conversation is for you. So I used to be terrified to speak on stages, and this chat on this podcast is full of ways to clarify your elevator pitch, being able to share exactly what you do and who you help, tips to get on stage, and how to take action despite your fear. So we have Judi Holler on the podcast. She is a world-renowned speaker and author of Fear is My Homeboy. We also share so many stories about rejections that we both faced, like the time I actually got to pitch Oprah. Judi talks about the power of tapping into who you were as a kid, bringing more of her into your life and everything you create today. I had so much fun with this conversation. We talk about waterbeds and the best shoes to wear when you speak on stage. Guys, we went all over the place, but I swear it applies in the best way. Judi's an expert at teaching the business of speaking on stages. Her new course, Speaker School, is out now, and it teaches you everything that you need to know on how to craft your message and step on stage and crush it. So you guys, we also let you in on how you can be a part of that. And we have some bonus content at the end as well. So if you want to learn more about Speaker School, you guys check it out. Go look at the show notes. But most of all, let's get into the episode. Judi, welcome to Earn Your Happy. Thank you so much for coming on.
So good to be here. I'm staring at the palm trees and Camelback Mountain. It's a whole vibe.
You've got this is a good view. I'm also looking at my, podcast team, which is
looking at all your
amazing
books,
view and the books. Yeah. This is incredible. Mm-hmm. I'm so excited to have you on because we are going to talk about one of my favorite topics.
Yeah.
Actually, a couple of my favorite topics. Fear.
Okay.
Public speaking. I think that just scared everyone.
Yeah.
So keep listening, people.
I just got butterflies and I do it. So.
The anxiety has come up for everyone. We just hit everyone in the whole world and what they're afraid of. Yeah. But you did write a book called Fear is My Homeboy. You do make 80% of your revenue being a professional speaker on massive stages. Yeah. You teach public speaking. You are kind of the amplifier of different people who want to learn how to public speak. So let's start with the fear topic. Let's go back to your book quick and just talk about the fear topic. Where did that come from? Why is fear such a big topic for you?
Well, I think if you are alive and you have a heartbeat in your chest and you are not a machine or a robot, you are going to feel fear and you're going to have to face it. And I think we have to begin with a conversation around like the F word, not the F word that y'all think we're going to talk about.
I like that word
too. I love that F word. This is an F word I don't like. And it's the word fearless. I take issue with it on a lot of levels because I think it's what causes so many of us so much pain because it's so marketed, so merchandised. Like it's movies and books and motivational t-shirts and jewelry and bumpers. Like everybody's telling us to go be fearless.
I know.
Like, and then the person that feels fear goes, oh, but I feel fear, so I'm not fearless. So therefore I'm trash and I'm doing it all wrong. And I'm here to say, can we just lay down that armor and understand that if we are afraid, number one, you're probably doing it right. It means you're on the precipice of something big, like some change. And number two, I'd like to remind everyone listening that if you were really fearless, you'd probably be a sociopath.
Or dead.
Or dead. Or you'd never pay your taxes. You'd eat poisonous foods on purpose. You'd do all kinds of crazy things because you're fearless, right? So I don't know. There's a book called, have you read Big Magic by Elizabeth? Okay. So there's this line in Big Magic where she goes, listen, the only fearless people I know are 5-year-olds and sociopaths. So no, babe. The goal isn't fearless. The goal is brave. So I'm kind of always playing games with my fear. I think I'm sort of, and I think we should be on this mission to be brave. And like, how do we every day kind of play with that a little bit? How do we flex that muscle? Like courage is a muscle. And just like our muscles, if we don't use it, like how do we expect to get
that is so true
braver, right? Or better or stronger. So I play these games like every day where I call them fear experiments. So I'm always like, okay, today, how am I flexing the muscle? How am I increasing my tolerance for pain? So maybe it is putting my face on social if I have it for a minute. Lori, maybe it's like, okay, today I'm wearing red lipsticks. I've never worn red lipstick. I'm gonna wear red lipstick to the grocery store. Maybe it's, okay, I'm gonna say yes when Lori Harder calls me to go be on the Earn Your Happy podcast, right? It could be something as big as that, or stepping on stage, or leaving a relationship, or moving to a new city. But I really think it's the small everyday things. Like those little things, like those moments every day where we can kind of flex that muscle that most of us miss that actually make us brave. The sales call, the email, the asking for you want, the boundary, the not looking at your phone before bed, right? The creating before you consume. These are all flexes that end up making us really brave. So I think the goal is not fearless. I think the goal is brave. And that's like step one.
I love that.
Step one.
Yeah. So Judi and I are starting a t-shirt line that just says, shit your pants and do it anyway.
like fuel fear. Pop your pants. It's going to be okay.
It's going to be great.
Congratulations.
I almost have on stage for real, legitimately, twice.
Oh my God.
You can't be a speaker and not have a poop story.
And listen, I always say truth. I always say to the speakers who are like, I'm not nervous. I'm like, you're either lying or you're
not talking about something important.
Or you need to get out of the game. Like you clearly don't care anymore. But I am like you, like I have been doing this on stage professionally, and same, there are so many moments of just like, oh, my tummy's in a knot. And my heart's racing, but cool. Because Lori, like, what's the alternative to that? Like, we're not alive. We're not here. Like, we're not feeling what we're supposed to feel. And like, think about it. It's your body preparing yourself to do something extraordinary.
Absolutely.
And what a gift. Like, thank you, source, God, universe, whatever your thing is. Like, thank you for the gift of this. Thank you for the feeling, because I've obviously been given it to prepare myself for what I'm about to go do. So we can use it.
I love that you said, what else but this? Like, without these feelings, we're not alive. And I actually, it's funny you say that, because I actually tap into that before I go on stage when I'm so nervous. Cause I still can get, it depends, especially if there's money that I'm being paid. Cause you want to deliver. I still can get so nervous. Look, I've heard it all. Everyone's like, oh, you're thinking too much about yourself. I'm actually not. At that point, I have prayed 65 times. All I want to do is serve, but I still feel sick to my stomach because I just want to perform well.
Yes. It means you care.
Yeah.
It means you care about your work. You care about your audience. I said to my husband just the other day, I go, listen, honey, if I stop getting nervous, like, get me out of the game.
Yeah.
Like, it's time.
True.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't mind it. I think a lot of people want to figure out how do I beat my stage fright? Like, how do I get over my fear? And, if you think about public speaking, what is it, Lori? Like, the stat is like 98% of people would rather literally die than get on stage. And, listen, if you're hearing us right now, you're listening to two people. I make my living doing it. Lori speaks on, oh my gosh, these days, you're on as many stages, if not more than I am.
I don't know about that, but I'm on stages.
You're on a lot of stages. And guys, maybe the stage is your phone. Maybe it's a podcast.
Exactly.
Maybe it's a pitch. Maybe it's a date. Maybe it's an interview. Maybe it's like you've got to go talk to your mother-in-law about something that's
a
deep
stage.
and intense. That's a stage. So I think there's a few things you can do. I don't know about you, but for me, like, this is big. I don't know if you do this. I'm curious. So for me, like, specifically in the hours leading up to the talk, like the night before, no booze, keep it clean. I don't like clients will want to take me out to dinner and do things if I'm on site for an event. I keep my energy right and tight. My aura really clean and pristine as fly as a photograph in Vogue magazine, baby. Like, I keep it lifted, right? But then the hours, like, if you think 1 hour, 2 hours before the talk, like, I don't pick up, no social media, no email. Like, there was one time I picked up my phone, Lori, and I saw an email, and I mean, it jacked. The audience was probably none the wiser. But I mean, I had a horrible time up there. Never again. Or you see one person or one comment and it sends you. So keep it clean. Like, I really, no social, no email. It's gratitude. It's prayers. It's power posing these days with like Clean Herbie in my like AirPods. It was Unstoppable by Sia for years. So like, get your aura right so that you can take your power back and love on the audience and give to the audience all that, you were meant to give them, because there's no coincidence you're on that stage. You were put on that stage and in that room for a reason, right? So I always kind of just try to keep my energy clean. I don't know if you have any rituals before you get on stage, but those are some of mine, like trying not to poop my pants, right? But also just like prayer and faith and music and removing distractions so I can just be in the energy of it in a good power pose. That always helps me big time.
Those are definitely mine too. Prayer, power pose. I've learned to not look at messages because it can even just customer service stuff. Like, what am I doing? Why am I looking at this right now? Like, your brain gets so distracted. Trying to think of some other, I definitely, sometimes I'll invite in like my younger self and let her say how proud she is of me. I'll be like, oh my God, I know you're nervous, but this is what we dreamed of and we're here. And that'll just really bring me back to how incredible of a moment that is. And also sometimes I'll think about me sitting in, because, you started with, I'm sure, being at events, watching speakers
all the time.
Like, I'll let myself go sit in that chair and just be like, we're going to talk to them. We're going to breathe life into them and let them know this is possible.
Oh my gosh. I love that so much. And that is an energetic, big old juicy message. It's so beautiful. I love that you said this about inviting younger Lori. So one of the things that has really helped me in the last couple of years is I went through an exercise. I went through a phase of comparing myself a little bit.
Oh, I've never done that.
Have you ever done this? Where you just get into your head and you think,
this morning. What?
Yeah, good. Thank you, Jesus. So he's back in the room. So I went through this phase of like specifically with a particular performer, and I love
that we have our people. I'm like, okay, who's on your list? Just kidding. We're not saying it.
No names will be said, but a particular performer. And I had gotten so deep into comparison that I started like catfishing myself, like meaning like this specific, I can't even believe I'm telling this story, but it's real. So I'm just going to tell it. Yeah. Like this specific performer, I was like, that's it. This is like, she's got the stages, the vibes, all of it. I'm like, and she always wore Valentinos on stage. Okay. And I'm like, perfect. I need Valentinos. So I'm going to go get all the Valentinos. I'm going to wear all the Valentinos. Okay, Lori. And I'm like, this is it. This is going to be the fix. And now I've made it because I stand on stage and I'm corporate Barbie and I am wearing my Valentinos and it's magic, right? Meanwhile, your girl hated the Valentinos, was in pain wearing the Valentinos, found herself wearing shoes she didn't even like to appease someone. If she was being honest with herself, she probably didn't even want to really be like to appease strangers who she didn't even really want to work with. And I had gotten, and that's what I call kind of like catfishing yourself a little bit. So I got lost for myself. And so coming back to little Judi, One of the exercise, thankfully, I'm back home to myself, and I've taken 2 years of work to do that. And one of the very first questions I asked myself to like crack open, like who I've become and really who I was always born to be, was someone asked me, what were you doing when you were 8 years old? Tell me everything 8-year-old Judi was doing, eating, listening to, playing, vibing with, being. What was she doing alone on her waterbed?
You had a waterbed, you lucky duck.
If you're from the 90s, holler at your girl. 1994, I graduated high school. So if you're with me, you know. But like, I had the waterbed. Like, what were you doing in your waterbed with all the flamingos on your wall? Debbie Gibson, Menudo, like give it all to me.
I'm right there.
Okay, so I wrote this list down and I was like, whoa. And then the exercise was get it all down. And it took me a few weeks. And then it was like, okay, is she anywhere in your life right now? Because when you are 8 to 10 years old, like this is before the world gets a hold of you and tells you to sit down and color in the lines and be corporate Barbie and be in the box and wear this and do that. And, you know, you start to worry about like, other people, oh my God, what are they going to think? And I could never. And so I'm just going to chill. I'm just going to stay right here in the box, comfy and cozy, and follow the line. And then you do this for so long that you end up losing sight of like who you are in your core. And what I have found is that 8-year-old you, those things you do different, that's the secret ingredient.
So you got the waterbed back.
So I don't have a waterbed yet.
Coming.
But I have a sleep number. That's pretty dramatic. It makes me sound like I'm 85. Can we edit that one out?
No, we're keeping that. Keep it. Now I need a sleep number. So
super cool here. But no waterbed yet.
Okay.
I don't think I could talk hubby into that. But like, guess what's back? Mixtapes, music, lyrics, poetry, rap, like spoken word, graffiti, hip hop, boom boxes, bright colors, neon, like this energy of little lowercase, the MTV VJ, the downtown Judi Brown that I wanted to be, like all of this sort of energy from the 90s is coming back into my life because it's always been who I am. And so now it's like, okay, how do I wake her up and give her a seat at the board table regularly when I'm writing these speeches, when I'm making these, pieces of poetry or writing lyrics or collaborating or creating podcast episodes or the next book I'm working on. Like, where's 8-year-old Judi in that conversation? Because that's who I am in my core. And how do I just find a way to make that person connect with the world at a larger scale?
Okay, let's talk about this because we're talking about fear right now. And I think in the beginning for us to, if I was to start thinking that before getting on a stage, which I really wish we could have backed up and added more of that in from the beginning, which is the goal. So let's go there.
Let's go there.
So someone has some big things right now that are really scaring them. They have some hard emails to write or some scary emails to write. They have a stage that they want to be on. They have a podcast that they're trying to get on. It happens.
Yeah.
They get a yes. Now here's where all the shit comes in. Like the yes, great. Your highest self says yes. You know you're supposed to do it. It's going to the next level. And now here's where all of the fear takes you down until the day that you do the thing. And how do we weave ourselves in from the beginning, even though we feel like that's the stupidest thing we could do because we need to be everyone else but us?
Yes. Okay. I think the first thing we need to understand, I think when we're talking about fear in life, business, entrepreneurship, friendships, relationships, it's inevitable. We're going to face it all day, every day. So we can either be a victim to it or we can be a badass. I think knowledge is power. So one of the biggest lessons I learned about fear, and this is a Stephen Pressfield, tell me you've read War of Art.
It's my favorite ever. Oh my God.
4 times a year. Y'all, if you have not read War of Art, go put that in your shopping cart right now. It's a life changer. And one of the things Stephen writes in that book is the conversation we have to have right now. Fear is always strongest at the finish line. So the second you walk into the room, put your foot onto the stage, just about click send on the email, you're about to pick up the phone or put your face on social media. Like in those moments, right before you are seconds away from doing the thing, fear comes in hot. Fear brings all of its friends to your party. Things like perfectionism and procrastination and self-doubt and self-sabotage and imposter syndrome. Now, when I see and feel imposter syndrome, which I do regularly, Lori, I don't go, oh no, imposter syndrome again. I go, ooh, I've made it. Cool. I'm doing something right. Because if it's here, it means fear's here. And it means I'm about to change and I'm about to grow and I'm about to get braver and bolder and bigger, and fear hates that. Because when you do that, you don't need fear as much. So fear wants you stuck, safe, and just the same. So I have sort of flipped the script on it a little bit. Now when I feel like, Lori, park in my car in front of your house, you don't think for a second that I was like, all right, really? Are you sure you know? Are you sure you got enough to say? Are you sure your stories are real and relevant enough? And, and instead of going, and so when that happened in the car, right before I shut the door on the Bronco, I went, oh, she's here. Cool. I'm right where I need to be. Because if I'm afraid, I'm doing it right. And so fear isn't the enemy. Comfort is. Like complacency is. Like, I need you to move faster, be less perfect. I need you to move. I need you to holler at your dreams. Like, we got to be the verb. And so it's for me a game of movement, because I don't want to be the same this year as I was last year. And so there's a lot of ways fear tries to stop us from evolving and growing and changing, and that growth is the game. And so I think for me, the biggest answer to the question is just like that knowledge. Like when you feel the fear, instead of going, oh God, I feel the fear, feel a sense of knowing that, aha, growth. Okay, aha, I'm alive. Okay, aha, I'm probably doing it right. And so this is where, I tap into faith. I tap into something bigger. I tap into myself and the trust I have in who I feel like I was born to be. And the more you do that, the easier it gets. It doesn't go away, but it gets easier. Does that help? I mean,
oh my God, of course. No, I'm right. I'm literally so in it that I'm like, Lori, think of your next question.
No, it's good.
You're taking me right back to so many moments.
Yeah.
So let's talk about a couple things that fear has. One of the places that I have felt fear either really sabotage me, or places where fear gets really enticing to do things that can really destroy what you're trying to go after.
Sabotage.
So let's talk about the few times where maybe you send the email, you face the fear. Okay. You face the fear. You say, yes, you're doing the thing. You have the speaking gig. I'll explain like two things, what I'm trying to talk about, so you can understand what I'm saying. Okay. So I've sent the scary email to somebody where I'm doing an ask, and it's like a couple days later and they haven't responded because I forget that I don't know yet that busy people don't even check their own email. I don't know this. I think they're me, and they're checking for opportunities every 30 seconds. And so I don't get a response in the first week. And so I maybe send another email, or I don't get a response in the second week, or I don't send another response at all, because I start saying, you're an idiot. They saw this email immediately. You're not important.
Feel you.
Don't ever send an email again, you dumbass.
Yeah.
And so there's one version of fear where you maybe don't send the email again. Or you either oversend things, or you write a sentence like, I know maybe you've been seeing my emails, but you're not responding.
Yeah.
Like, this is all the things that fear can do. So can you help me with, how do we create the story that you have to have in your head in the in-betweens of the fearful moments? Because it's like insane to see the answers you get now that you're patient and you don't really care about the outcome. Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I missed your email from 2 months ago. I feel like such a jackass. I don't even look at my own emails. Like
I feel you on a soul. I just want to give you a big hug, because I know this place like so well, and I think it's so relatable. So I think there's a couple things. I mean, I am by no means, people always ask me, I'm like, listen, I am nobody's guru here. I wrote a book called Fear is My Homeboy, because so one of the things I'll get asked on panels is like, what is that one thing we don't know about you? I'm like, y'all, I'm the biggest fraidy cat you'll ever meet in your entire life.
Like, this is why I wrote it.
Like, this is why I feel like I'm qualified to write this book, because I face it, and I've done incredible things in my life because I have, despite doubt and despite those weird moments. So, what you're really talking about is liminal space. We're not where we want to go yet. We haven't gotten the answer we want yet, but we haven't gotten an answer. So we're in this liminal, like this unknowing, this not knowing, this like dark, icky, uncomfortable space space of like between nowhere and not yet. That is a really hard place to be. So number one, acknowledge it. Namaste. Cool. Number two, in moments like this, I think this is where we like phone a friend. For me, the things that have saved me the most when I get into this, like, okay, so I've sent this email, like you've got such a big, beautiful, I think this is why we need a big, beautiful network of baddies and best friends and business owners and people who can talk us off the proverbial ledge. Cause I'm about to go dark 30 and stalk this person to the point of looking like a complete troll. Can someone talk me off the ledge?
Please help me.
So phoning a friend is always helpful for me in my like rock bottom moments, or just, my husband's like a natural sales guy. He's like so good at this. So he's always just like, holler, chill. We gotta move. We gotta follow up. We gotta be proactive. We gotta holler at what we want, but we also need to have people in our lives that can kind of talk us off the ledge. But also like, I think like empower yourself, be proud of yourself. Most people don't, Lori, like most people don't holler at what they want. Most people don't even send the first email. Most people don't pick up the phone. Most people aren't pitching. Most people aren't putting themselves in the room. Most people aren't standing on stage. Most people aren't making the investment and tapping into their network and making move. Most people don't. So I think if you do and you begin, you're ahead of 90% of people who do things the same way they've always done them because that's the way they've always done them. Fear isn't the enemy, comfort is. So I think the way to get through it is to go through it, and to just keep moving.
I haven't figured out a shortcut.
And to also tap in that, like you have faith, like you there's this belief in something bigger. And so I'm always like trusting, like I have one of these things going on right now with like a stage I want to speak on so bad. And I'm like working the CEO. I'm like, he needs to know we're going to holler at your dreams. I'm going to get your people like you need me, baby. And like, he's ghosted me. It's been 3 times and we had a call and he's in but I haven't heard. But I'm like, okay, holler. He's got a lot of things going on in his life. You are not his only. And they say it takes on average 7 to 10 touches to really get a response for someone. So I think patience, faith, and just like proactive persistence with swagger.
Yeah.
And it's going to play out. And if it doesn't, it's a divine realignment. Okay, your loss.
You have to tell me who after. I'm like, do I know anyone? Do I know anyone? But really, that is so true because there are things that Chris and I'm not comparing myself to this human, but like there are things that we want to do.
Yes.
And I'll be like, oh my God, this person sent me 7 emails. I feel so bad. I actually want to do it, but my brain is so over here that I'm like, and then I don't respond again.
Yeah. You get to the point where it's so, I think you could take that as even like, okay, it's an understanding. It's a knowing that, listen, it's like thinking someone may not like you in an audience or whatever. It's like, we really don't know what's going on with anyone. And I always think, Laura, you look at your life, I look at my life. It's like, I feel like the things I've lost or the things I've walked away from, as painful as some of them have been, whether it's a person or like a massive opportunity, has actually always ended up being the best divine realignment
every time.
So I'm just such deep faith, yo. I'm like, okay, cool. Where are we going? But I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to keep hollering at what I want. I got to let this guy know he needs me because no one else is going to do it for me. So I got to holler at that dream. This is the essence of my message, like on keynote stages. So I kind of have to be what they want me to teach their people.
You picked a tough one, Judi.
I picked a tough one.
I feel the same.
You know what I mean? Like, so I'm like, what? I get in this line of work, But it's true. Like, I've got to be what I am ultimately going to go teach their people, which is the essence of being the verb. Like, we got to make moves in life, right? So, I don't know. I think it's a beautiful question and you're not alone. And I feel like that is such a relatable conversation because there's probably thousands of people listening right now that are just like not sending the follow-up email because they're too in their head. Send the follow-up email and then chill, just keep moving.
It's a matter of, like you said in the beginning, doing it all the time. And I will tell you that I have had years where I got a little comfy.
Yeah.
Because what was once hard becomes easy.
Oh my gosh.
And so you have to go and do hard things again.
Oh my gosh.
Frequently. Or you actually get really unhappy.
Yes. Like I am here right now. Like one of the biggest mistakes I made in 2022 as an entrepreneur. So I'm a keynote speaker. I make, 80% of my money through speaking on stage, getting paid to speak on corporate stages. And I got like in the groove, because I was making some money. I was in demand, baby.
I'm getting booked.
So guess what I did? I outsourced my swagger. Now, this doesn't mean that we don't bring people in to help us, of course, but I got out of the I lost control of my sales process. And there is no one that is going to be able to pitch or sell me. And it doesn't mean we don't have people. I have a director of talent booking. And of course, but I mean, I got to get on calls. I got to be pitching myself. I got to make videos. I got to get in there. I got to meet people, right? I got to connect. And I stopped doing that. And Lori, like, we are currently digging out of that mistake. But I could sit here and go, okay, it's so hard. It's not fair. I'm so talented. And why won't anybody? Okay, Holler. Cool. What'd you learn? And how are we going to move forward? And what are you going to do differently? And thank goddess that happened, because it taught you a million lessons that will actually probably walk you into a career of a lifetime, because we have to remain in control of the most important assets we own, which is the ability to position and package our services. And so we have to sell, There's really no way around it.
No, there's not. I love that you had mentioned that, because your version of like getting on the phone and pitching, we have to try to figure out what that version is, because yes, as you grow and scale, you do have to outsource things, but there's always your zone of genius that is bringing either the eyeballs or the money or the talent into the team.
Yes.
So I've done this before with social media, thinking other people could do it and just watching that freaking tank.
Yeah.
And it's not that I hired a bad team. It's that you took the whole like soul out of the whole reason. You took the magnet out of your business.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, I can outsource just about everything else, but you can't outsource how you're bringing people in or how you're like contacting people, making contact with people.
No one can be you. And this is the power. But it's also like using that power wisely, right? Like where's my energy level at? How much energy do I have? What can I get rid of? And what is critical that I maintain at least eyes over? So like I may have a director of talent booking and she's out there. Have you heard of Holler? You got to know Holler. You got to get her stage. I see you've had so-and-so. If you love her, you love Judi. And how do we make moves? Can I get you on the phone? Can I get you on the phone? So I have people helping me, or I'm using my own voice to pitch, right? Because sometimes it's powerful to come from the performer and the person say, hey, or you have a warm connection. But the goal is always to get me on that call or to get me somehow at the table, because I feel like once I'm at the table or once I can get on the phone with someone, you start, hey, listen, when you spend a lot of money, high five figures on a keynote speaker, you want to know that person's going to deliver. Yes. You want to know they're not going to drop the ball. You want to know you can trust them. Can they perform? And really, truly in the speaking business, anybody that hires you, it's a direct reflection on them. So it's a trust thing. So I think I can get on the phone with someone and usually close, but I just need to be able to get on the phone. And I just feel like that's something I should no longer outsource. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, but we've got to pitch, we've got to sell. And if you can turn it into a powerful exercise and just like, my tolerance for pain though, Lori, think of all the pitching. Like I have a pretty high tolerance. I did a lot of improv theater. I studied at Second City in Chicago. So I'm used to pain, right? Like I can fail publicly.
So you have tell us about that, because people listening are like, wait, you pitch yourself for money to these big stages. Like that's a whole lot of pain, but let's also talk about, meaning just that alone is a whole lot of pain. Like that's not, that's painful, and the rejection is scary. And if it works out, it's even scarier because now you're getting paid and you have to do it.
Yeah.
So there must be a large level of fulfillment, which I want to talk about in a second. But I want to talk about some of the rejections that you've gotten. Can you share some of the rejection emails or anything that you've gotten that have taken a hit that now you are so grateful for?
Oh my gosh. I feel like I get rejected weekly. I feel like I get weekly wins too. So it's good. But I get rejected all the time. And I think they all hurt.
Yeah.
But I also am in I think 2 years ago, it would have derailed me. And it did for a minute, because remember, I was a little lost and disconnected from myself and my message. But now that I'm so deeply connected to where I'm going, and I'm so, your fortune lives in your ability to focus. And I was very unfocused. Like, Lori, I was like, oh, here's what it's going to be. I'm going to do improv, but then I have a planner, but then I have a workbook. Oh, let me do disco balls. Oh, wait, no, I'm going to make a sequin jacket line. Oh, no.
Are we the same?
Yeah. Well, no wonder people are like, so she's an improv speaker, but wait, she's got disco ball. Oh, but I think she might be making a sequin. Like, what? Like, this is just all me searching for something outside of myself to validate myself, to make me feel worthy and seen and heard and all this stuff, right? When really it was always inside of me. I just had to wake myself back up. 8-year-old Judi had to come back to the table, right? So long story short, like that has given me such a level of confidence. Like I am so focused on one thing and one thing only. It is the verb God gave me. I was born with the last name Holler. And I don't believe I was given that last name on accident. So now it's become my life's purpose to help people holler at their dreams, use their spoken word to bring dreams and goals into existence, to really manifest. So now I'm like, so see what I'm saying? Now I know the conversations I want to have on my show, the people I want to collaborate with. I know what I want my next book to be about. I know how to write my speeches, how to perform my speeches, how to pitch myself, how to sell myself. And now even on social media, everything goes down one lane, the lane of hollering at your dreams, calling your shot, movement, facing fear, building courage. So I think it's really a message of focus. The more focused you get, the braver you are, because, and the money will come.
You are speaking my language. This is literally the last 2 years of my life. I'm like, you need to get focused.
Oh my God, I'm saying.
And I was so scattered. I couldn't even tell, no matter how many masterminds I did where it's like, learn your elevator pitch. I couldn't even get an elevator pitch because I was like, I'm too many things. I don't know one thing that I am. It felt so
insane.
Yeah. Especially putting a talk together on one thing. Are you kidding me? Impossible.
Impossible. I was on a plane going out to the Bahamas for an event, and I was sitting next to this woman. This is when I knew I had to get my life together. So this woman, she hears me talking to another woman about what I was there to go. Why are you going to the Bahamas? All these women going on a girls trip, whatever. And this woman turns to me and she goes, so what are you here for? I'm like, actually, I'm speaking in an event. I'm like, oh, so you're a keynote speaker. What do you speak about? And we were just like talking about improv and stuff. And so at the very end of our conversation, the girl I was sitting next to goes to the bathroom, and then the lady right in front of me leans over a chair and taps you on the knee. She goes, you said you were a keynote speaker. I kind of overheard you talking about your speaking. She goes, hi, my name's Diana. I'm senior vice president of insert big company. Hands me your card. She goes, tell me what you speak about again. I literally need a speaker 2 months from now. Tell me more. Lori, I froze.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, so I, blah, blah, blah. Like when so I can't even, I have back sweat telling you this right now. And I had been speaking pro for like 4 years, but I was so I had lost myself, remember? I was so disconnected. I was all over the place. I was not trusting myself. I had lost my focus, and I could barely pitch to this woman. And I'm like, okay, I think I got through it. We get up, we're leaving the plane, and I see on the seat with all of her trash is my business card.
Oh,
the business card I gave her. But you know what?
Yeah, it's the best.
Amen. Thank God.
Yeah.
Because you know what I did? I got my shit together. And I'm like, I gotta get it together. I have got to figure this out because I am playing it safe, and I'm not doing, more importantly, I'm a boss. I've got a story. I'm a talent. I'm an entertainer. And shame on you, Judi, for not being able to clearly and quickly articulate the dopeness that you are. So go home. What do we learn? Go home, get it together. And that rock bottom, my card in the trash of her little like champagne glass up in first, like it was like half wet. It was like kind of sad. They were
so
super
good.
vibey, hot pink, gold foiled business cards. Yeah, it was one of the best things that ever happened to me, because of course she didn't want to call me or hire me, but I now have been able to take control, get focused, and I turned that into like the greatest gift, which allowed me to come back home to where we are today.
That's the best story for on stage as well. I love that.
It's a good stage story too.
Oh my God. Yeah. I had one moment like that as well. I had gotten an opportunity from a girl who worked for us, and she was good friends with Oprah's right hand at the time.
Oh my gosh.
How does that happen?
Okay.
And so I got an invite that should not have happened. What was the best thing that ever happened to me? I got to go into Oprah Studios and pitch her.
Dope.
Yeah, kind of.
Oh my God, I'm sweating.
This was 2014 or 2015.
What year was this?
Before my book.
Wow.
Like before I knew, but I was going to write a book, and I was like, but I'm doing the Bliss Project.
Oh yeah.
So I've done this big event with 500 women. Everyone should know about me.
Yes.
What? Like, this is what we think, right?
Yes.
And that's also fine. That's just like in the beginning.
Course.
And I was like, I've got these amazing special things that I talk about. I facilitate this room of incredible connection.
All the things.
But I did all the things.
Yeah.
And so I get this opportunity, and she's sitting in the chair. I'm in the studio, right? I'm shaking. And my husband is with me. Like, he's just sitting with me because they kind of knew, like,
right.
Whatever. When we were invited, it was like, oh, her and her husband, you should meet them. But Lori's going to, talk about what she does. And so she leans back head or hands on head, does the power move. The leaning back in the chair, crosses her legs, looks at me like kind of down through her nostrils. Oh God. And says, so tell me why you're special.
Oh, wow. She's wanting to know what's the essence. Give me the elevator.
Yes.
Oh my God. What did you do?
I was all over the place. It was a disaster. I had tears in my eyes, literally.
And you probably feel it happening.
It was awful.
Yeah.
I in that moment, I literally just wanted to say, in all honesty, I'm not. Do you know that feeling?
Yeah, I do.
And I left so you need to figure out who you are and what you do. And it was also just this beautiful moment of dial it in. And it wasn't like I was so big on myself or ego, because I absolutely still had so much fear. But I think it was just this moment of how important it is to be focused on what you do and to clarify your message, because it's I couldn't explain it. So that meant no one could hear me.
Oh my gosh.
And yes, this little room could hear me, but it was because I was putting out so much effort and I was exhausted at the time too.
Yeah, see?
But this has turned into, which I'll tell on more stages later,
Yes.
but it's turned into one of the best stories that got me clear.
Yeah. The fortune lives in the focus. I mean, at the year this happened to me, same. I had made more money than I had ever made in my life, but my hair was falling out. I was miserable. I was scattered. I was borderline. Should I get on an antidepressant? This was 2019, before the world changed, right?
Yeah.
And I was, on paper, it looked like everything was perfect, but inside it was such a cluster,
Yeah.
So I feel you on a soul level there. And thank God it happened, right? Because it's how we were able to kind of bring her back home.
Yes.
Bring her back home. And it doesn't mean I've got it all figured out, but boy, we better be able, as business women, as business owners, as entrepreneurs, as speakers, as any maker in the world, boy, if I don't know what you do or how I can help you, how can I help you? How can I hire you? How can I buy from you? So every time I go online and I think about positioning myself as a speaker or promoting my course or whatever it may be, I'm always thinking about that. If I don't share this, how will anyone know,
You guys, Chris and I have so many businesses with so many people that are really important to us, customers whose calls we don't want to miss or don't want to miss communication with. Then OpenPhone is the #1 business phone system that streamlines and scales your customer communications. It works through an app on your phone or computer, so no more carrying 2 phones or using a landline, which Chris and I would talk about all the time, that we wanted 2 phones to just try to keep our lives a little bit separate. And with OpenPhone, your team can share one number and collaborate on customer calls and text like a shared inbox. That way, any teammate can pick up right where the last person left off, keeping responses and times faster than ever. Plus, say goodbye to voicemail. Their AI agent can be set up in minutes to handle calls after hours, answer questions, and capture leads, so you never miss a customer. So whether you're a one-person operation drowning in calls and texts or have a large team that needs better collaboration tools, OpenPhone is a no-brainer. See why over 60,000 businesses trust OpenPhone. OpenPhone is offering my listeners 20% off of your first 6 months at openphone.com/earn. That's openphone.com/earn. openphone.com/earn. And if you have existing numbers with another service, OpenPhone will port them over at no extra charge. OpenPhone, no missed calls, no missed customers. I'm so excited to share this. You guys know I never shy away from big, scary leaps, those super messy, what the heck am I doing moments. And This is Small Business just kicked off a new season, and it's all about risk. You know, I'm obsessed with this topic because that's what it takes. The host, Andrea Marquez, takes us behind the scenes with fearless founders who turn their maybe later ideas into heck yes, let's go adventures. These episodes have it all. They have raw stories of grit, honest advice, and so much inspiration. I got full body goosebumps listening. I was nodding along thinking this is exactly the kind of fuel we all need when chasing our big dreams. So if you need that extra push to go after your own hell yes vision, you have to check this out. Go follow This is Small Business on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. I can't wait for you to hear it. A lot of you are like me and you started your business or your podcast or your courses because you were super passionate about something and you wanted to turn it into your life's purpose and your job. But once you got started, you had no freaking idea how hard the marketing portion was going to be and how many different hats that you were going to have to wear. By the time you even get to the marketing portion, you're usually exhausted or you don't know what step to take next. And that's why I'm so excited to introduce you to Constant Contact, because it's going to help you with so many of those problems. Constant Contact's award-winning marketing platform is here to make marketing way easier and way more effective for small businesses like yours. The best part? You don't need to know anything about marketing. Your struggle with expensive, slow, and unmeasurable marketing is over. With their all-in-one platform, you can create and manage attention-grabbing campaigns in just a few clicks. Email, text, social media, events, landing pages, you name it, it's all in one place. No more juggling dozens of different tools. So I'm so glad that I found Constant Contact and can't wait for you guys to get started. Get a free 30-day trial when you go to constantcontact.com. Try Constant Contact free for 30 days at constantcontact.com. That's constantcontact.com.
But again, it's that focus, and even taking the message of speaker school and the courses I have or the work, any worker, the anthem is always going to be hollering at your dreams. Like I'm kind of wrapping it up in an IP bow to really help people. Like you think of Mel, 5 Second, you think of the people who have the
She's
message.
Got that dialed in.
You
Mel
think
Robbins,
of Brene, you think of, it's vulnerability. It's, so you think of the people that are doing really big work in the world. They have their anthem and they may change and the way they do it may change. But we're going to be high five and we're going to be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to it's always going to come back to the core message, which essentially, taking Mel Robbins, for example, is the message that became the anthem, that became her platform, that became the blow up in the world that she is very well deserved to become,
So this is like the perfect segue literally into what you do. So if you've gotten, this whole conversation around fear and also not being able to share exactly what you do. This is why stages are so important. And you guys, if you're thinking of big stages, that's not just what we're talking about at all. This is every time you get on social media, if you're wondering why your program is not selling, your content is not hitting, it's not clear. You are not being 100% authentic. You don't know who you are yet. And that's okay. Mine went on for way more years than I really hoped it would have, like 10 more, 12 more, 15. Still there. Actually, I'm getting more and more clear. And I do think you get there and that changes too. Like you get more and more dialed in and more comfortable with who you are every single year. Wasn't until I was in my 40s, till I really understood anything.
The 40s, baby. I feel like I am just getting started.
Same.
I love it. I am here for it. It gives me all the wisdom and the courage. I have a swagger. I feel confident. And listen, I'm 47 years old and I am like a graffiti suit wearing hip motivational raptress, standing on these stages, dropping bars and lyrics and doing the work I've always really wanted to do. And I'm just getting started at 47. Yeah. And so I think it's I love the 40s. And so it gets me excited about the 50s. And, I'm in this camp of aging ambitiously. And I think we can all do that. And that's going to look different for all of us. But, don't you count yourself out. And you're right. Stages and being able to get clear is going to help you move your business and move your products and move yourself along, right? Whether it's an interview or a date or whatever. Imagine sitting on a date with someone and they're all over the board. You're like, do you even know who you are? I mean, it's the same
you
thing
can't connect with someone who doesn't know who they are. Yeah. So tell me about what are some of the things, because we're going to talk about if you guys want to get more clear, if you want to be a better speaker, and it doesn't matter if you're on stages or not. No. I actually think this is, when I've asked successful people, what is one of the biggest needle movers in their life? They say it's been Toastmasters and they may not even be speakers because it teaches them so much about confidence, how to have conversations for pitching, for raising money, for doing all these different things. So this is such an art that needs to be taught to everybody. What are the things that you would do again if you started your business? Okay. So first thing I would do again, if I wanted to start my speaking business, I would not quit my day job right away. What's that? There's a lot of trash motivational quotes out there. One of the ones I despise the most is just jump. And then that'll catch you.
And I'm kind of like, yo, okay, hold on. Like, why do people jump out of planes? Because they have a parachute on
Exactly.
their back. Like, I'm not jumping with this. So if anybody's listening, whether you're starting any sort of business, like if you can keep your day job, baby, keep it. I kept mine
keep
for
your
3.
net. Yeah, it lets you have more fun on the trapeze.
Oh my God, it lets you jump and play and
Yeah.
you're not as stressed. And how am I going to get insurance and like all the things that you have to figure out along the way. So the first thing I would definitely do again is, you know, I side hustled for 3 years. I saved money and I just honed my craft. Number 2, because of that, I was able to speak for free as much as I could or really low fee. And I would recommend doing that again because you're going to get number 1, reps. And you know this, I've watched
I
you
didn't get paid
transform.
till just recently.
It's incredible.
Like,
you get better and better and better every time you perform. This is reps, right? It's incredible to watch. So it gives you reps, but also make sure anytime I did, and this is what I talk about in my course, which is like the business of keynote speaking. If I was speaking for free or anytime I did do that, I always had a contract and I made sure I still contracted myself because it's still, I'm an asset. I'm still giving you my time and my energy. And yeah, we're doing that pro bono, but here's what we're agreeing to as concessions in trade for that. So I made sure every pro bono event I did was mutually beneficial by way of, I would ask for lists so I could get emails. I would ask for photos, video. I'd either bring in my own photographers, videographers, or use theirs. I would get access to testimonials, logos, social media, street cred. Like you see yourself on stage, it just gives you some like street cred. And so I would definitely recommend doing that again, but put a contract in place and make sure it's very clear that we are going to get testimonials, we are going to get logos, we are going to get lists, whatever you agree upon, do that. And then I think I would absolutely do the one thing that single-handedly grew my keynote speaking business. I think this is one of the juiciest things I teach in my course speaker school. So if you are listening right now and you want to be a speaker, turn the volume up. Okay, because this is how I started my business. Grew it into a paid revenue generating business. Every gig I went to, whether it was a free stage or a low paid stage at the beginning, I brought these hot pink forms with me. And the hot pink form had 3 very important questions on it. Number 1, would you like the toolbox from today's presentation? If so, please print your email here and we will send it to you. Boom, growing my list. Staying connected to the community. Question number 2 is the one that literally built my business single-handedly. And at times I still do this today because we're finding QR codes don't translate. People are just not scanning them. And I don't know, I think people just are onto us. So they don't want to be spammed or scanned. And so we're just trying to figure this out. But anyway, the forms. The second question was, now keep in mind, they've just heard me speak. And I'm good on stage. I have a great talk. Even when I was coming up, I knew what I was doing. So they're motivated, they're inspired, they're ready to rock. Question 2, do you know anyone who could benefit from this presentation? If so, put your email here, contact info, and we'll follow up. Third question, anything else you want to share? So your girl we'd collect all the hot pink forms. I mean, I'd be speaking at the time, 800 people, 700 people. I'd have some big audiences in the big day. So I get on my Southwest flight going home with my stack of hot pink forms and I'm hustling with my little cocktail. I'm putting all the emails in before I had an assistant or anything. I'd put all the emails into my CRM and then I'd flag the leads and single-handedly that one, and then they'd go into my CRM, we'd create a lead and we'd hustle the game. And I mean that with love, like we'd work for it. We'd follow up, we'd send notes, can I get you on the phone with Judi? And I would say if I did an event with 100 people, I mean, spin business is what we call it in the business. You know, so speaking, turning into the next stage, the paid opportunity. If I spoke to 100 people, at least 80 people were filling out. I mean, our ROI on those forms being filled out is almost 100%. And I would say from a lead perspective, we get 20, 30, 40% people dropping leads in there. And maybe we convert 10 to 20% of them, but at $7,500, $10,000 a pop, which was my kind of going rate, you're starting to build a business.
You're getting them while they're hot, which is the most important. And I'm getting them
while they're hot.
Because it's not going to happen later when you send.
It's not going to happen later. And we are using QR codes and other things now, and it's just not translating into the spin business. That really is that's how you book your business, is you turn one opportunity and leverage it to book the next 10. And so, I mean, even these days, if it's the smaller, the arenas, you can't really pass out hopping forms. But
We
if it's a
wish.
small enough room, we're doing it.
Yeah.
Because we book business. And that is the sign of a good talk, not the standing ovation. Those are great. You know, you've got a baked talk. When you are done speaking and someone says to you, here's my card, you've got to come to my organization. That's when you know you've got a bookable talk. And that's how you build a speaking business. So
What would you not do again?
we kind of talked about this. I would not compare myself. I spent way too much time comparing myself to Valentino Girl and to other performers.
I would
just tighten up the blinders. They put blinders on those horses for a reason when you're running races. And, you know, we have to stay, listen, when you're getting started, you're going to, of course, look to people for inspiration and a way because you've never done it before. But I think when inspiration turns into comparison and potentially catfishing yourself, you're in trouble. So I wouldn't do that again. I wasted so much time and money.
That's all I did.
I sold all those Valentinos. They went to her sister's
I was
closet.
going to say, do you still have them?
They're gone. I got rid of them all.
That boxes of Valentinos
I
that
love
hurt my feet right now. They're going back. It's fine.
Yeah, it wasn't my vibe. They're great for but it just wasn't my
Trust me,
vibe.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I've only found one pair that's very
They're
comfortable.
not comfortable.
Yeah, totally. You have to be comfortable on stage.
And you have to be comfortable. And I
Yeah.
love a stage shoe. I just would rather have a more edgy stage shoe. You're not gonna
Trust
go
me.
edgy
And
one
also,
right now.
if you're a new speaker, do not buy the highest shoe. You actually do need to be more connected to the ground when you're new, especially because
when you're new.
Yeah, you have to feel grounded or it will not make you think clearly.
Yeah.
It's
be
very
comfortable,
crazy.
look good,
Yes.
just be comfortable. Yeah. Because there's nothing worse than like pulling up or seeing someone on a big screen with adjusting their outfit or not. You can tell when someone isn't comfortable in their bones.
Yeah, it's so uncomfortable.
distracting.
It's been uncomfortable for me in certain outfits. And I'm like, okay, that's so distracting. Okay, tell me about speaker school.
Okay.
The hardest part about starting a business is often getting started. Build your business in just 10 clicks in 10 minutes. Starting your business should be simple. Get more when you start your business with Northwest Registered Agent. Your entire business identity in just 10 clicks and 10 minutes. Northwest Registered Agent has been helping businesses launch and grow for nearly 30 years. If you want to build your business while keeping your personal information secure, Northwest is the partner you need. In just 10 clicks and 10 minutes, they'll form your business, create a custom website, and set up your local presence wherever you need it. Form your business for just $39 plus state fees, backed by real business experts with decades of experience. Protect your identity and keep your home address private by using Northwest's address on your information documents. Don't wait. Protect your privacy, build your brand, and set up your business in just 10 clicks in 10 minutes. Visit northwestregisteredagent.com/earn and start building something amazing. Get more with Northwest Registered Agent at northwestregisteredagent.com/earn. When I first started Glossy, I was so overwhelmed. I felt like I had to do everything on my own because you do, and your to-do list just keeps mounting. But let me tell you, when you're starting off with something new, it just seems like that list is growing and growing and growing, and it can quickly overrun your life. So you have to start learning to find the right tools that can not only help you out, but simplify everything. And that is a game changer. And let me tell you, for millions of businesses, that tool is Shopify, and I am included in those numbers. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the US. From household names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands just getting started. And I'm going to add mine to the list, Glossy. Get started with your own design studio. With hundreds of ready-to-use templates, Shopify helps you build a beautiful online store to match your brand's style. And you guys, I love my website so much that's on Shopify. Go and check it out. Also, Shopify is your e-commerce expert with world-class expertise in everything from managing inventory to international shipping to processing returns and beyond. If you're ready to sell, you're ready for Shopify. Turn your big business idea into cha-ching with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/happy. Go to shopify.com/happy, shopify.com/happy. Okay, so if you came over to my house right now, I would probably make you go into one of the guest rooms and just crawl into the bed because I am such a bedding junkie that I would need you to experience how awesome my bed sheets were. And if you know anything about me, I am obsessed with sleep because I feel like I'm such a different person when I get my sleep. I perform at a much higher rate and I'm just a whole lot nicer. And you guys, one night with Quince's European linen and you would understand the hype. These sheets are light, they're breathable and super soft, and they have that perfectly lived-in vibe. They're woven from 100% European flax linen, and they have that heirloom quality that feels like it gets softer with every wash. And the same goes for their ultra plush duvets, quilts, pillows, and shams too. Quince has everything you need to level up your bed. And the best part is, like Quince's clothing, their bedding is half the cost of similar brands. And by partnering with top artisans, Quince cuts out the cost of the middleman and passes the savings on to us. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes. And especially when the weather changes, I switch out my blankets. And my favorite blanket that I got from them is the vintage wash European linen bed cover. And I got it in the oat color because it works perfectly with everything that I have in my super neutral room that I'm obsessed with. So let your bed match the season with cool, relaxed bedding from Quince. Go to quince.com/happy for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's quince.com/happy, QUINCE.com/happy to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/happy.
So Speaker School is my online course. It is on demand, it is self-paced, and it is your opportunity to sort of get me as your mentor. So I am an active keynote speaker. I am on the road, in the field, on the stages. So I don't have the bandwidth or the space to do like private one-on-one coaching. So this is my way to answer the number one DM and email and question I get, which is, how do I become a speaker? Well, can I pick your brain? Will you be my mentor? And I want to say yes to everybody, but I can't because I'm on the stage. So I created a course called Speaker School. She is such a vibe. She's on demand, self-paced. You get me as your mentor. You get live. I think one of the most popular things lately has been the live calls that everybody gets access to. So I jump on once a month and you get to hear from my keynote speaking friends, lawyers, agents, people who are in PR and pitching about the biz, which are like mini masterclasses in the masterclass. And then it's yours for life. The other thing I love about it is that you pay once and you get it for life. So as we make updates or torque the content or drop in new videos, you get that. And then I think last, you get to learn from a pro, someone in the field, and you get access to my keynote. So I put my recordings of my actual talks into the platform and I like coach to them. So I instruct, I'll pause the video and be like, okay, did you see what happened here? I lost power. Or did you see what happened here? Boom, this happened. Here's how I handled it. Here's what I do in tech check to make sure when this happens, I'm set up for success. So it's literally contracts and things to be looking out for on stage, things to be looking out for before you get on stage, after you get off stage, like just the insider scoop of a decade's worth of experience on stage doing this like full time for a living. And I'm one of those weird unicorns that like, I was like in speech meets, I was like baby keynote speaker. And so I just kind of always knew I wanted to be a performer and an entertainer and a professional speaker. So I kind of share the business of that with the people who invest in the course. And I think last thing, whether you want to speak professionally or use it as a tool to grow your business, the stage looks real different these days. So are you ready for it? Are you pitching? Do you have that elevator pitch so your card isn't in a trash can when you leave the plane? Are you focused? Can you confidently articulate what you do? How do you slay the stage when you get it? What do you do on the other side? How are we leveraging opportunities? How are we locking it up with the contract, right? You're a perishable item. So are you protecting yourself, right? And so whether you want to do a full-time or, as an entrepreneur, there are tools to the trade that I have had to learn sometimes the very hard way. And Speaker School teaches you all of that.
Yeah, you don't necessarily have to go through it yourself.
No, learn
Some
from
of
me.
it you will.
Take my pain.
Yeah, exactly.
Take my pain and my lessons and my failures and go turn it into save time, save money, save resources. Plus, it's a whole vibe. We did it kind of masterclass style, and
it's personal development, you guys.
It is.
Like, it's the biggest anything stage is the biggest personal development you will experience in your entire life. It just is.
It is. And I think it's crowded. The course space can feel crowded. Who do you trust? And, we talk about this in the speaking business. You get this. Like, there's a lot of poser nation out there. People saying they've got more experience than they do. People selling big courses about the business of speaking specifically. And they've never made, no disrespect, but they've never made more than $2,500 a speech.
Yeah.
Like, so you mean to tell me they've never spoken to a room more than like 500 people? I'm like, the things you learn when you do it professionally just help you accelerate. So, no poser nation over here. It's the real deal, real advice in the Holler way. And I'm so proud of it. And she's just getting started. I mean, she's only a year old. Yeah. So I'm really proud of her. And we've got a really dope alumni so far. So more to come. My first course, we'll see. But I'm really proud of her.
It's so exciting.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, I know that you have withheld some bonus content as well that we're going to give in just a little bit. And that's going to be one thing to do to holler at your dreams, which means make them happen.
Yeah. We
move them forward, call our shots.
The courage to face your fears and use the power of your spoken word to bring dreams and goals into existence. We got to holler.
Listen to that calling card. We could have said that on the airplane.
Now I got a pitch. Right?
Exactly.
Lori.
All right. Where can we find you, follow you, all the things?
Okay. So, my favorite social media is always Instagram at Judi, Judi Holler, the verb HOLLER. My goodness, my website, judiholler.com, and speaker school's there as well on my website.
We'll link that all up too, you guys. All you have to do is go to the show notes and we'll have all your fun stuff down there. And like I said, bonus content.
But wait, there's more.
All you have to do is go down to show notes and click on the bonus content, and we are going to send that to you. So thank you so much for coming on. I'm so grateful for you.
Same.
You guys, we will see you on the next episode. Bye, everyone.